Hello, it's me again. Just thought I'd do another video, this time about coping with hair loss and my experiences with it during chemotherapy, just to give you a bit an idea of my perspective and how I sort of coped with it and got through it. The reason that it's kind of prevalent to me just now and made me think about doing the video is because unfortunately I have just found out my chemotherapy isn't working. So that's great news, as you can imagine. So it turns out I need to go kind of back the way and I need to end up having a bone marrow transplant now. For those that don't know, I suffer from acute lymphoblastic leukemia and I'm 27, so it's quite a kind of rare type to get at my age. It's usually young kids that get it or adults over 60. So the good thing is that I'm fit and healthy otherwise, so I'm sure it'll be fine, but I am going to be as bald as one of the Right Said Fred members yet again. So just to try and tell you a bit about what I went through, and hopefully it helps you if you're about to start treatment and kind of what to expect with it, because it's not like, one of these. I seen this morning, example, Jamie Winston, the actress, has gone and shaved her head. It's different when it's a choice that you make to do something as radical as that, but when the choice is taken out your hands, it's quite different, and you're allowed to be angry about it and frightened. But just remember that it's a sign that your chemo's working. That's the main thing, because chemo's, it's not very selective in the cells that it kills. It goes in, kills, cleans out all the, your cancer cells, which is fantastic. But it's also going to kill and damage every other healthy, sort of renewable cell in your body, which includes your skin and hair, unfortunately. So how I coped with it, I started my treatment back in October when I got diagnosed, and obviously the first thing they tell you is that, side effects, blah blah blah, and the main one that I think that gets any sort of person is your hair loss, especially if you've been used to having, long hair before, which I really did. I've got a photograph here of what I used to look like pre-chemo. So this was me. I don't know if that's going to focus very well. But as you can see, I had really long dark hair, which really was my crowning glory. I'm not the slimmest girl in the world and I'm not the prettiest, so I really did like to make the most of my hair. And it's a big thing for a girl. It's your femininity, your sexuality. You feel like your hair. It's an expression of yourself. So having that taken away, you feel like a part of you is getting taken away as well. But just keep focused, keep remembering it's for the best, it's going to get you through and you're going to get better. So what I done helped me. As you see, my hair was very long. The first thing I done, I got admitted into the oncology ward on Friday, or in whatever it was, in October, and on the Monday my good friend Scott came out, who's a hairdresser, and he cut my hair up to here immediately, which really felt like I'm in control. It's my decision to cut this hair. It hadn't started falling out by this point anyway. It does take a few weeks. So I had this kind of really short bob going on, which was in a way so much better as well, because I was in and out hospital 6 months before getting diagnosed, and when you're really ill and tired, exhausted, you don't feel like doing your hair. So one benefit is that it's easier to maintain. So look for the positives. So I got my hair cut there, had another week and kind of tricked myself into thinking that this chemo wasn't going to make my hair fall out, because nothing much was happening. So I kind of lured myself into a sense of false security, which probably wasn't the best thing to do, but we all do these things. So I had about a week and then it started coming out. Now, I know for me, and I think for most people, your hair doesn't come out in clumps, which is a good thing initially. It just gradually starts thinning. You'll notice when you're in the shower, when you wake up in the morning, there'll be hairs, and that gets a bit worse and worse and worse as it goes on. So I eventually, the following week after that, decided to have a kind of crop cut done like this, and it was much easier to deal with the hair loss. I found it really helpful as well to use a baby shampoo on my hair, because your scalp is quite sensitive. It can be quite painful, your hair coming out, obviously because the cells are rapidly, well, they're not dividing anymore, but there is changes going on in there. So I found that having it cut really short was a bit more comfortable again. And again, I felt like I was retaining that bit of control. So that happened, and then it really started to thin out. And being dark-haired as well, it was horrendous. You just looked in the mirror and you felt like a cancer patient, which might sound a bit crazy, but you kind of lure yourself. I don't know. I go into autopilot. I don't really, you just head down, go on with it. So to actually see that you're ill, you can see the physical effects, your hair's falling out, you look ill, it's not nice. So I took the decision. I finally got my wig, which we're really lucky in the UK that we're entitled to wigs on the NHS, which I think the USA and everything does too. So look into that, make sure you get what you're entitled to. So luckily enough, I got a real hair wig. So the woman who fitted that kind of advised me that the best thing to do, because my hair was getting so thin and just not nice, to shave it all off. That is not a pleasant experience, might I tell you. I don't know if any guys out there have ever shaved their heads before, maybe experienced it, but for a woman, it's sore, it's cold, you don't tend to lose every hair on your head either. You will probably be left with some, so obviously when you're using one of the clipper things in your head, the hairs are blunted, so they're really sharp. So even lying in your pillow at night, it's like sticking to the little, the fibres, the cotton fibres of your pillow. So what I found helped was putting a towel down, something like a towel in fabric, because it's much thicker and the material's bigger. It doesn't tend to cling to the hair as much, so that really helped to get a bit of comfort. You can also get sleeping caps, which are just made of a soft cotton just to protect your hair. But like, so from your boyfriend staying over and you're wearing what looks like a swimming cap to bed, I think I'd rather be bald, to be honest. So I just opted for that. Don't get me wrong, it was hard the first time letting my boyfriend see my head like that. And even when I initially had it shaved off, it took me about 4 or 5 hours before I could look in the mirror at it. I just couldn't face it. So that was what I found helped me. I think if you leave it, I know for me, if I left it too late to shave it off, I'd have just felt like this is taking over me, and so just do whatever makes you feel comfortable, but don't feel forced into doing that either. If you're not ready to shave it off, don't do it. But it did help. And as I said, using a gentle shampoo, and it's important still to wash your scalp as well, even when you have got no hair, because your scalp secretes a lot of oil, and that can build up and cause problems and discomfort and dandruff, nasty things like that. So just use something really gentle when you're in the shower or the bath. So it's great, you save a fortune, you don't need to go out and buy all these expensive shampoos and conditioners and products and whatnot. I was really surprised as well how quick my hair came back in. As you can see, I've got quite thick hair naturally. So that was October. Come December it started to grow back, and it's now March. No, it's now April, sorry. And I've more or less got a full head of hair again, which is fantastic. So I feel quite comfortable going out in public. I unfortunately wasn't one of these brave people that could go out with my head and nothing on it. I just didn't feel comfortable at all, which is a shame, because that we are brave going through this. It's not a nice thing. We're fighting a killer disease. So if you are brave enough to go out there and show the world what you're doing, then good on you, and don't let anybody put you off. Just go out there and be yourself and be proud of who you are. Because, at the end of the day, we've got enough going on in our lives to worry about other people's opinions, so do whatever's comfortable for you. I know as well, when I first started losing hair, the hospital put in touch with a woman who sold scarves for your head. You know how a lot of people wear those? That was not for me. Not for me at all. I felt like I immediately looked like a cancer victim, and I just didn't like it. So I wore them maybe for the first week, just because my hair had been shaved and it was uncomfortable, and it was quite good to protect it from hurting during the day and things. But I wouldn't went out with one on. I'd rather wear a hat. That was what that sort of comfort was wearing a kind of beanie style hat, and it was knitted. It was a soft fabric, keeps your hair warm, your scalp warm, because you do get cold ears and things. So just find whatever's comfortable for you. There's loads of videos on YouTube, women that have done like scarf tying demonstrations, which are really useful, and some of them are absolutely beautiful. They look fabulous wearing them, but it's a personal choice. So just do whatever's right for you. My real hair wig I found really uncomfortable. It was very tight, because the wigs are made, there's loads of different ways that you can get wigs. You can get lace front wigs, and wigs that have it's almost like a fake skin and the hair's implanted, and that's the one that I've got. It looks a lot more natural, same as the lace front, because it just looks like your sort of real hairs. I just didn't find it comfortable, and to be honest, I still don't really find it the best. I ended up buying wigs off Ken Pave's website. He does a sort of range with Jessica Simpson, she's the face of them. They're only about £90 each, and they look fantastic. The one I've got, so I've got two of them, they're called Long and Lush. I'm going to do a video in the morning. I can't sleep tonight, I'm getting a lumbar puncture in the morning, so I can never ever sleep. I've had diazepam and everything, so sorry if I'm a bit... So I'm not going to do that tonight, but in the morning I'm going to do a makeup tutorial and put the wigs on so you can see them. And they're absolutely fantastic. I've worn them out loads of times and nobody knows that it's a wig that I'm wearing. They're comfortable, they're long and glamorous, they make you feel nice, so there's loads of options, and I think they're only about £90, which is not a lot of money to be paying for a wig. Obviously if you pay more, you've got more quality, it's going to last longer. I think these wigs, I've had them for about a month and a half, 2 months, and I'm going to have to renew them pretty soon. I do look after them, I do comb them through and detangle them. I don't tend to wash them though, mind you, but for £90, you know, what would you pay when you were going to the hairdressers to get your hair coloured or highlighted? So it's still cheaper than, you know, replacing, than having to do your hair. So it's a worthwhile investment if it makes you feel good. So I'll do a video on that in the morning. And hopefully that'll help. And obviously if you've got any questions or any other topics that you think that I could help with, or you want to hear my silly little opinions on them, then I'm happy to do so. And apologies for the lack of makeup tonight. It's not a good look, but as I say, it's the middle of the night and I can't be bothered. So hope you're all well, keep your chin up, keep strong, and I'll be back soon. Bye.